What does it really mean to be yourself? Is it possible to ever truly, fully become who you are? Or are we all just actors on a stage, pretending, performing, hiding from the truth of our own freedom? These are the kinds of deep, haunting questions that Jean-Paul Sartre, the French philosopher, dives into in his famous work Being and Nothingness. It's not light reading, it's complex, rich, philosophical, but the ideas in it are wildly relevant to how we live, how we think about ourselves, and how we navigate life. Let's start with a seemingly simple situation. A waiter in a cafe. Sartre watches this waiter move with crisp, mechanical precision. He bows just so. His tone is perfectly polite. His gestures are rehearsed, like someone in a play. And Sartre wonders, is this person just a waiter? Or is he playing the role of a waiter? The difference might sound small, but to Sartre, it opens a massive door into understanding human identity. You see, Sartre believed that we often confuse what we do with what we are. The waiter seems to be acting the part so completely that he's trying to become the role itself, as if being a waiter is the essence of his existence. But the truth is, the man is more than that. He has dreams, memories, fears, possibilities. He might love to write poetry. He might want to quit his job and move to the mountains. He's a human being, complex, fluid, ever-changing. And yet, in this moment, he's trying to reduce himself to a single label, waiter. And that's where Sartre introduces one of his most powerful ideas, bad faith. Bad faith is a kind of self-deception. It's when we lie to ourselves, not by saying something factually wrong, but by pretending we're something fixed and final, something we are not. The man who says, "I am just a waiter," is lying to himself, not because he doesn't work in a cafe, but because he is pretending that this one identity defines him completely. In doing so, he's running away from the deeper, scarier truth, that he is free, that he could be more, that he is more. Freedom, in Sartre's view, is both a gift and a burden. We're not like rocks or chairs. A chair is just a chair. A rock is just a rock. It doesn't have a choice. But we do. We are never just one thing. Our consciousness is always moving, always imagining, always reaching beyond the present moment. Even when we try to define ourselves, we're already becoming something else. We are never finished, never complete. And that's exactly what makes sincerity, the idea of just being yourself, so complicated. Think about emotions like sadness. When we say, "I am sad," we often talk as if sadness is a solid thing inside us, like a box we carry. But Sartre says that's not really true. Sadness isn't a thing we possess. It's something we do. And as soon as we stop doing it, it vanishes. Imagine sitting in your room, feeling low. Suddenly a friend walks in, and without thinking, you smile. In that instant, the sadness disappears. What happened? Were you lying before? Are you lying now? Sartre would say, the sadness wasn't a permanent state. It was a performance you were actively choosing, even if unconsciously. Your consciousness was keeping the sadness alive. The moment your attention shifted, it faded. So even our deepest feelings are not fixed, they're actions, roles, choices. And this brings us to the heart of Sartre's vision. Human beings are not what they are. That might sound confusing, even absurd, but it's actually profound. It means we're never fully defined by what we've done, or what we feel, or even what we believe. We're always more than that. We're always in motion, becoming. And because of that, we can never pin ourselves down. Not in total honesty, not even in the most heartfelt moment of self-reflection. Now, you might be thinking, isn't it good to be sincere? Isn't honesty with yourself a noble thing? Sartre doesn't deny that trying to be honest is important, but he points out something paradoxical. Even sincerity can become a trap. Let's say you try to be completely honest about who you are. You say, "I'm just a shy person." Seems fair, right? But that statement assumes something false. That who you are is a fixed, unchangeable thing. In that moment, you've frozen your identity like a statue. You've made yourself a shy person in the way that a cup is just a cup. But you're not an object. You're alive. You're free. You could speak up tomorrow. You could become confident. So in the very act of trying to be sincere, you've lied to yourself because you've denied your own freedom to change. Sartre dives deeper with an even more complicated example. One that reflects the outdated language of his time but still carries a philosophical weight. He talks about a man who's had same-sex experiences but refuses to label himself as homosexual. Sartre isn't interested in the morality here. He's examining the structure of identity. The man doesn't want to be defined by his past actions. But someone else might say, own who you are. Be sincere. Yet both the denial and the demand for confession are forms of bad faith. Why? Because both pretend that the man's identity can be reduced to a label, either denied or accepted. But real human identity is never that simple. We are not objects that can be summed up in a single word. To say, I am X or I am not X, is to try and freeze something that is always moving. And this is why bad faith and sincerity are mirror images of each other. In both cases, we try to capture who we are as if it's a final answer. But because we are beings who are always in flux, always becoming, that capture is impossible. To be sincere is to say, this is who I am. But even as you say it, you're already someone else. The moment is gone. The self is changed. So sincerity, though noble, becomes a kind of performance, a way of saying, here I am, while secretly hiding the truth that I am always more than this. So what does this all mean in the end? It means we can't find a final, absolute self. There is no stable identity to uncover, no core you, waiting to be discovered and embraced forever. Instead, you are a project, a movement, a becoming. You are always creating yourself moment to moment, choice by choice. And that's beautiful but also terrifying, because with that freedom comes responsibility. You can't hide behind the excuse of being just one thing, just a waiter, just a shy person, just a victim of your past. At any moment, you have the freedom to become something else. And that freedom can feel like a weight. That's why people fall into bad faith. That's why we pretend. We would rather be a role defined, labeled, understood than face the radical, dizzying truth that we are open-ended, that we can always change, that we must always choose. In the end, Sartre is not trying to depress us. He's trying to wake us up. He's telling us, stop pretending. Stop trying to be a thing. Start becoming. Don't hide behind your job, your personality, your past. You are not what you are. You are what you make yourself into. And that process of becoming, of choosing, of transcending is the core of being human.